Well, we can cross now to Khartoum on the programme and speak to the civil society activist Enass Muzamel. Thanks very much indeed for talking to us on France 24.
No, thank you so much for hosting us.
Can you just tell us what the situation is like where you are right now? Are there any signs the fighting is quietening down?
Yeah, I'm in Khartoum. I'm in center to south direction of Khartoum. And for the third day in a row, Khartoum wakes up to the sounds of shells, bullets, and warplanes. Those generals are fighting basically over who will rule Sudan. People live in a bad and deteriorating humanitarian situation. Access to food and water has become really difficult. There is also a shortage of fuel and acute shortage of electricity supply and water. And the most horrible one that the access to hospitals has become almost impossible. People rely on doctors over phone, and we don't know how long this situation will continue, and the extent of the loss of life, and also this damage in infrastructure. I mean, Khartoum airport, the streets, hospitals, and if you can hear now, they start again shelling. And we are just sitting inside. We are not even allowed to sit by the windows or open spaces because most of the people who were killed during this war since the day before yesterday were killed by the random shooting.
And I wonder whether you yourself have been able to go out to get basic supplies, food and water, for example, because of the intensity of fighting where you are. I mean, do you have enough to eat, for example?
Yeah, kind of. It's the month of Ramadan, so we don't eat a lot during the day. But of course, we are worried, very worried about what will happen in the coming 2, 3, 4 days when especially the water. I mean, we are in Khartoum is one of the hottest cities in the world in Sudan. I'm talking to you right now, and the temperature is 42. So imagine, and no electricity, and it's really horrible in the month of Ramadan. So I cannot go more than this few, 50 meters or something in the shop in the corner of the street. That's what we can do, or the bakery. And today they are closed.
And Enass, I don't know if you're able to answer this question, but we have seen some reports of members of the RSF, the militia, that have been taking shelter with civilians. They're trying to disguise themselves, apparently, among the civilian population. I mean, are you aware of stories like that? Do you know sort of who's fighting who in your neighborhood, or is it really just too hard to tell because you're unable to go outside?
No, I see it and I hear it from my friends, especially the ones they live very close by one of the bases of the RSF or the army. And yes, they were hiding very close to Al-Shab hospital today, and the main wall of the hospital were completely destroyed. Hundreds or thousands of the walls and the roofs of the houses of people were destroyed and damaged because they were hiding inside, the small streets in the neighborhood. So it's really 100% true what you were saying. And
I know that you personally have been a very vocal supporter of the democracy movement in Sudan for years now. And, after the overthrowing of Omar al-Bashir, there was this sort of optimism, wasn't there, that Sudan was on a democratic path after years of dictatorship. And I just wonder now today, how do you feel when you see that movement has been so derailed by these two generals, General Burhan and General Hamdan?
It's very, disappointing and very frustrating situation that what we were really building, and hundreds of thousands of Sudanese died and paid, high prices from their lives, and people lost their organs or their eyes or their hands. to build, democracy and to enjoy a country with, freedom, justice, and peace. And when we see those two guys are just fighting over the power and who will rule, and even if one of them win this battle, that doesn't mean they win the Sudan or they are going to automatically rule the country, because there are the final say for the 43 million people who have 75% of them under 35. I mean, young people with a lot of ambition for democratic and peaceful country. So it's not the end. Yes, we are very sad, we are very angry, and we are very shocked in Khartoum, because this is the first time this happened in Khartoum, and Marawi also in North Sudan. I mean, with all respect to the damage also and the people who are suffering now in Darfur and in other places because of this armed clash and armed conflict between the two, the army and the RSF. But here in Khartoum, it's the first time, and it's the first time that we hear these sounds and we wake up with this, and to live days without, the basic services. So it's really quite shocking, but we expected it. I mean, this militia has been growing from 1, 5, 6, 7,000 to 100,000. So it's coming. I mean, and they want to be integrated in the national army.
And can I just ask you briefly as a final question, what is your message today to the international community as this fighting rages where you're living? What do you want to see from international actors?
We want to see serious and logical pressure. I mean, people are very frustrated by all these, speeches and statements by the head of the UNITAMS, Volker Perthes, in the Security Council, when he says that we are about to reach democratic transition and start transitional period till a week ago or something like that. And then we wake up on the Saturday with this. I mean, the international community should also try to analyze and evaluate the situation and understand the local context better than the way they were doing since the 2019. I mean, the Sudanese Foreign Ministry announced that the rejection of any foreign intervention to mediate for a solution. So they are closing the door for any logical, civilized, or political solution. Then now we need some serious action by the international community, and especially the Africans, because they are close to the Africa, like IGAD, AU, and this. And we see this. We saw this initiative by IGAD yesterday, where they want to send the presidents from some African countries to come and meet with them. So we hope so, but we still think that the USA, EU, and the UN are very serious about putting Sudan again to the democratic path and track. And we hope that they can cooperate with other regional forces. And
Enass Muzamel, I want to thank you very much indeed for your time and for speaking to me today here on the programme.
Thank you so much.